today's video, we have got 3 new upcoming games that have just been revealed, and all 3 have got something really interesting to them. First of all, with an Indiana Jones inspired multiplayer action game, a new open-world Viking RPG, and a new Dark Souls-like fighting game inspired by Pinnochio. So without further ado, let's get into it right away. So, a brand new super fun looking action online game has been revealed by the name of Phantom Abyss, and looks like quite the ride and is releasing next month in June. Phantom Abyss is a massive asynchronous multiplayer game that casts players into procedurally generated temples and tasks them with retrieving these sacred relics hidden within deadly chambers. Intrepid adventurers will dodge scores of hidden traps, leap treacherous places, and flee relentless guardians through branching paths until one of the relics are claimed or the devices of death overwhelm them. Be warned, you only get one attempt at each temple, and failure or settling for a lesser relic means you will never see that temple again. The cleverest players will use the phantom runs of failed attempts from other players to their advantage and avoid the missteps and mistakes that led to their doom. Once the legendary relic at the bottom of each temple is found, the temple goes away forever and becomes the priceless trophy of the skilled adventurer. In the game, you'll explore the perilous halls and colossal rooms of each temple alongside the phantoms of fallen players that came before you, and use their successes and failures to your advantage to progress deeper than they ever could have hoped. Watch and learn from the mistakes of up to 20 phantoms, including your Steam friends that have attempted the same temple, and steal their whips as they fall. Recover keys from chests to unlock deeper, deadlier sections of that temple, which houses more coveted relics. The more difficult a relic is to obtain, the greater the reward. The final legendary relic of a temple allows you to claim the whole temple so that it's gone forever. As adventurers venture further into a temple, offerings of collected treasures can be made at altars to gain a new blessing for the rest of the run. Collect as much treasure as you can to please the gods and gain a double jump, glide jump, extended slide, damage protection, and more. Unlock new whips with success and choose from your collection before venturing into your next run. Each whip carries a minor blessing but also a curse that may complicate your attempt at riches and glory. Finally, players can also share temple codes for their failed runs, allowing friends to attempt the same temple or share their adventure code, which yields a playlist of temples that player has attempted in the past. Let me know what you think of this game. Next up, we have a new open-world Viking RPG by the name of Project Ragnarok, which has just shared its new official trailer, which looked good in some part, but others just average. Let me know about you guys. Project Ragnarok is a sandbox open-world RPG that can also be played as an MMO game, or alone if the player wants to. It allows players to explore the game world on their own terms, whether to enjoy hunting monsters, gathering resources, or socializing with other players. Players have the freedom to enjoy the world at their own pace. There will be a basic MMO system in place, providing features such as guild and commerce to encourage social interaction among the players. As for server capacity, it depends on the stress testing results, but the developers are aiming for 40 to 50 players in a single battle, which would be huge. There will be instance dungeons and they will be really challenging, as said by them. Clearing these dungeons and more will require good teamwork, as they are designed with various mechanics that test a raid's group leadership and organization. Each of the levels in a single player dungeon is randomly generated. In addition to each level's main objective, there will also be random incidents to provide a unique experience. At the same time, players will receive one-time buffs and items to help them complete the task. Each playthrough will be an exclusive experience unique to each individual. There's also going to be some classic Norse mythology elements in the game. You'll see characters like Odin and Valkyrie and stories loosely based on Ragnarok, making it easier for players to understand the worldview and immerse themselves in the lore. However, the game will be a reimagination of the Norse mythology rather than repeating the mythos. The tone of the game will also be filled with dark humor. The characters we will be creating and playing are mere mortals, striving to ascend amongst the Norse pantheon instead of the traditional clashes between gods as depicted in games like God of War, for example. Project Ragnarok is said to be a multi multi-platform project, meaning it will release on next-gen consoles, PC and mobile. There's no release date for it yet. Finally, we have a game by the name of Lies of P, a very dark Souls-like game inspired by Pinnochio. Yes, you've heard that right. Here's the game's main description. You wake up at an abandoned train station in Krat, a city overwhelmed by madness and bloodlust. In front of you lies a single note that reads, "Find Mr. Geppetto, he's here in the city." In the game, you'll play as Pinnochio, a puppet mechanoid, and fight through everything in your path to find this mystery person. But don't expect any help along the way, and don't make the mistake of trusting anyone. You must always lie to others if you hope to become human. Inspired by the familiar story of Pinnochio, Lies of P is an action Souls-like game set in a cruel, dark Belle Epoque world. All of humanity is lost in a once beautiful city that has now become a living hell, filled with unspeakable horrors. Lies of P offers an elegant world filled with tension, deep combat system, and a gripping story. You will guide Pinnochio and experience his unrelenting journey to become human. The timeless tale of Pinnochio has been reimagined with dark and striking visuals, said the developers. Set in the fallen city of Krat, Pinnochio desperately fights against everything to become a human. The game will feature a ton of lying quests and multiple endings. Experience interconnected procedural quests that play out depending on how you lie. These choices will then affect how the story ends. You'll also be able to combine weapons in a multitude of ways to create something new altogether. Research to find the best combinations and make something truly special. With Pinnochio being a doll, you can also change parts of his body to gain new skills and hopefully an edge in battle. But not all of the enhancements are for fighting though, they can also provide several other unique and useful features. This game will be really interesting to follow through its development, though it is set to not release until 2023, which is a bummer, because why would you announce such an interesting game 2 years before? Though I have to admit that I love the premise of the project, and with Pinnochio fighting against some kind of robotic machines or created machines as bosses and simple enemies is all the more interesting and makes me somewhat more intrigued than just seeing creatures, for example in like Dark Souls. Anyway, let me know if you guys are excited for this project. If you guys would like to see more upcoming games revealed soon, make sure you tune in to Matt Chief's Game Expo on June 5th, which will include a ton of indie game reveals from appreciated studios or simply games that aren't known yet, so definitely make sure you tune in to that event. For more gaming news videos just like this, make sure you subscribe to stay tuned, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Thanks to Richard Westfall, Bruce Rain 236, Thunderbeard, Kian Zofagari, Rickno23, Diamond Hunter 45, Themistocles, Space Beer Gaming, and Rash Singbati for being a master member on the channel. You can become a survivor member for as low as 99 cents only by clicking the join button below. This will support me and the channel as a whole to continue making videos on the games that truly deserve it.